Namaste friends, and I hope you're doing well. Let's talk about the moon in the sixth house. The sixth house is also called the Shatru Bhava. Shatru means enemies. And what happens when moon goes to the sixth house? You'll naturally you'll win over your enemies. So again, the enemies, when I say enemies, it simply means not someone who wants to harm you, or rather not only enemies are known to harm you, but there can also be rivals at the office, someone who has ill intention towards you. It can be even your friend. You never know, they might have a bad thought or bad intention. So enemies is naturally everybody who has a bad intention towards you. That's what enemy means. Okay. For this, when moon comes to the sixth house, it gets very interesting. You will win over your enemies through your politeness, your soft spokenness. Naturally, your enemies will fall for it. They will naturally feel that, okay, this person is so nice, and I think I should just leave him alone, or I should become his or her friend. That sort of qualities you have. Now you use your mental power together with your soft spokenness and win over situations. So your grace, your politeness, your mild mannerisms, together with your strong mental power, you win over your enemies. Again, this is also depending on if it's in a benefic or malefic situation. If moon is conjuncted with a malefic planet, or itself became a functional malefic. Naturally, moon is a benefic, okay, but then it can be a functional malefic. There's some technicalities to this, but essentially what I'm saying is, moon, if it's on the wrong dignity, then it's going to give you problems when it comes to enemies. You'll gain more enemies by doing the approach that you have. You'll gain more enemies, but then if your moon is not afflicted, then you will win them over your strong mind and your politeness. Together, this you can win over any enemies or any adversities also. Okay. Which is why I keep saying it's very important to analyze the moon. Okay, not even the sun. The moon is the most important. The moon controls your mind. We are seeing this world with our mind. We perceive things with our mind, and also emotions. The next thing is it deals with the service to people, the sixth house. How whether you are a very person who's moving towards the people who do charities and donations, and you are naturally connected to them. If there is some major catastrophe, or some hurricanes or tsunamis or whatever natural phenomena that happens, you'll be seen in this area to help. Naturally, you don't care whether people are looking while you're doing it. You're not doing this for credits. You are helping. You'll never help someone for cheap publicity or credits. You will never do that. You will do it because you want to help. That's who you are as a person. Okay, so and that is good. Okay, that is great, because for one thing is you are very efficient when it comes to helping other people, because if your moon is strong, you will also create this ability of the foresight. You have the psychic abilities. You'll be able to see things before it happens. This sense of this ability that you have, when you put it into the service, when you're helping people, you try to be very proactive. You assess the situation far beyond what a normal person can think, and that makes you a very efficient, very a strong personality in a service organization. You will be a great manager when it comes to helping people in need and all that. Okay, because that mental power together with that psychic abilities can make you a very strong person. All right. So next thing is dealing with debts. Financial loss. You will see debts as a huge shackle, as a huge problems. Okay, because again you are emotionally connected with whatever you see, and debts is not an exclusive thing. You will also see debts as a major thing, and it will be part of your emotional sense. So if you can't get rid of your debts, you will not be a very happy person. You will lose your happiness. You will be sad and depressed, and having a prejudice about people, and blaming others, that sort of things will start to have problems. So if you have moon in any houses, especially in the sixth house, then you're going to have a lot of problems, a lot of unhappiness due to money losses, because you would not see it as a logical, as a very practical way of solving financial debts. You do not understand that this is just money, no big deal. Okay, I mean, you can earn, you can lose money, is fine. Okay, the idea is how far do you go positively towards money. But then you, as a person who have moon in the fifth house, do not see it that way. You are not seeing things practically. You will see like, oh, okay, now I have some debts, and this is a matter of reputation. Everybody is going to look down on me. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose everything because of the debts that I have, and because of that, and my earnings is so less, so it's not going to be good. And you start to mumble, you start to talk to yourself, and you start to feel very miserable inside. And if you have this, chances are very high that you have your moon either debilitated, or it's in a wrong sign, or it's conjuncted with a malefic graha who's sitting on the sixth house. Okay, the other thing is your work. See, in a work environment, the sixth house is also about work, not career, but actually general work, right? How do you do things? So in the office, or at home, or wherever, when you work, you're always in a challenging mode. You're trying to assess what the other person has more than you. You see, this will lead to a problem, because your energy gets drained before you start the work, because you start to assess all the situations, all the consequences, all the ramifications before it starts to take place. So what happens is, when you start to engage your actual work, you tend to you tend to be tired, because by the time you start work, you've analyzed too many things. You want to make sure that everything is out of your way, and that consumes a lot of energy and most of all your efforts. So it's very hard sometimes for you to grow in an organization, or as far as work is concerned, your work would not be very fruitful. Okay, it takes a longer time for you to get a job done, because of your confusedness, because of your sense of how shall I say, the way you want to make sure that everything is proactive. You do your due diligence more, 10 times more than the other person. Okay, this is something that you have to realize. If you have this thing that you're mainly focusing on your due diligence rather than your actual work, then it's very likely that you have your moon to be debilitated in the sixth house, or your moon is afflicted in the sixth house. You will see survival in this life is also seen in the sixth house. How well you adapt to adversities, how well you adapt to problems, how well you mix with people, how well you thrive in a situation where you really need to move on. That is very important to see. So the moon having all this emotional, nurturing, caring, personality, trustworthy and all that. When it is given a survival in this problem, it will always look for people to help. It always needs someone to give that morale boost. You need someone who need to come to you and say, okay, you're doing a good job, I know things are bad right now, but then it will get improved. Don't worry too much about it. You can do it. Constantly you need someone who tells you that life needs to go on, and you need to push yourself. That morale boost is your medicine. If you don't take that medicine, you're going to fall sick. Okay, so this is something that you should understand and realize. If you have it, then you need to do remedies for moon, and get rid of all this problem, because you need to be confident in life. This confidence problem will cause you many issues, regardless of the problem. See, and it gets worse if it's in the sixth house, because you need to rely on people to solve your problems, and how that is going to be, because people themselves, they have their own issues. The last thing they want to do is to help you. I just read somewhere, they say if you tell your problem to someone, chances are they don't care, or they are glad that you have it. Okay, they're not going to help you. They either don't care or they're happy that you have the problem. So there's no point telling people about your problems actually. So that's a little bit about what I think the moon will do to you if it's in the 6th house. I hope it has been beneficial. Hope to see you soon. Thank you. Namaste.